Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back to the channel. MCP servers are really great. They really help you to increase your productivity. In this particular video, I would love to show you how you can leverage DuckDB MCP server to get quick insights into your data set. So I'll use two MCP servers, file system and DuckDB, and I would love to show you how to configure that. Maybe if you're using Cloud Desktop, I'll show you that. And if you're using IntelliJ like I do for my day-to-day, you can use GitHub Copilot and then add an agent. So let me show you all of that. All right. So hopefully you guys can see my screen, right? Okay. So first of all, create a folder called data in your project directory, and this is a sample data set that you can download. This is the New York trips data set. So just go ahead and put some Parquet files over there. Okay. Now to get DuckDB running on your GitHub Copilot, which is running on of course IntelliJ IDE, you can go to IntelliJ IDE, go to settings, and then here search for plugins. Head over to marketplace, and then here simply search for GitHub Copilot. Okay, I already have one. Again, it has like 27 million downloads. You can see, just go ahead and install it, and that's about it. Once you do that, just make sure you sign in, and then here you will see the GitHub Copilot. Now what you want to do is over here probably you will see this drop down where it says ask, edit, and agent, right? So there are three options there, right? So what you want to do is you will basically click on the agent tabs over here, right? And then we need to configure that, right? So I'm going to show you that shortly. Yeah, so this is going to be, we're going to add like two MCP servers. So here you can see the MCP server for MotherDuck, which will leverage DuckDB. So I can, query my data set using DuckDB. So this is great for if the data set is less than 100 GB, DuckDB is like the perfect for that, right? And then I have a file system, right? So this is again an MCP server, which will allow my AI to access my local file system. So it knows like what files are there, etc., right? So we need these two MCP server, file system, and then the DuckDB MCP server. Now I'll show you how to configure that. All right, so then head over to this little setting icon that you can see here. If you click here, and then you can just click on add more tools, and this will open up an mcp.json file. And now you can just copy this JSON let me just copy that. You can copy this JSON here. Here you can see, so for my IntelliJ, I'm adding two things, DuckDB and file system, right? I'm just gonna save it. And if you have difficulties finding this particular file, usually it is there in the IntelliJ IDE folder, okay? So if you go to GitHub Copilot, as you can see, just want to show you. So this is my Soumilcha directory, config, GitHub Copilot, IntelliJ, and then there's a file called mcp.json in case if you can't find it, okay? So once you configure that, that's it. Just close it, probably open up or restart your GitHub Copilot, and then maybe let's try. Are you connected to DuckDB? We can naturally ask the question, and let's see if it is connected to DuckDB. So here you can see it's doing a query and it's asking me to continue. So I'm going to say continue, and then it is just basically testing at this point whether the connection is successful or not to the MCP server. Yes, I successfully connected to DuckDB. I ran a test. So again, you can see that, right? And on the drop down, I can select any model, GPT-4, 4.1, 4.0, etc., right? So with that, now you can start asking questions. So again, it knows about your file. So you can say, hey, can you query? I'm just gonna probably give a file name here and see if it works. So copy pal. Okay. Can you query this file and tell me the count of records that are there? Again, this is gonna run queries on DuckDB, right, in memory. So here you can see select count from total records. So read Parquet. So it knows that. So I'm gonna say continue. So right from my GitHub Copilot, right from my IntelliJ, I can ask questions, right? And I can add multiple agents over here. So here you can see these are the total number of records that are there. Now similarly, you can do that with the Claude too. So just come to your Claude, right? Developer, edit JSON, and then just open that in the text editor or whatever, right? And here you can see I already have a MotherDuck, right? MCP server. So let's close that. Let's restart Claude. So I'm gonna click on quit, and then open up Claude again. Hopefully works this time. Hey there, are you connected? Are you connected to DuckDB? So let's ask a question. So we did that in the IntelliJ on the GitHub Copilot, right? So yeah, you can see it's connected to the DuckDB. Now let's ask a question, right? I do have a prompt here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this data set and I'm gonna ask, can you query this? So can you query this using DuckDB and tell me total records count in that. Let's see if it works, right? I'll query New York Parquet file. So now you can see the query that it ran, select count from total records from, and then it did that, okay? Here you can see it got the count, and so it was able to execute that query. The New York taxi data set on January this so contains so many records, right? You can also ask now, hey, can you show me some interesting stats in the data set? So no more writing queries, right? You can naturally now ask questions, and of course it will go write the queries for you on behalf, and then it will give you the result. So here you can see it did a describe table, right? Then you can see all the queries that it is executing, right? So now it's executing all these stats. So let me just show you, right? So once all of this is done, it's gonna give me a nice stats about the data sets now. So now let me gather some interesting statistics, right? So it's doing that. You can open up each one of them and check the queries, of course. I mean, I loved it. Like, you know, I don't need to write any Python script. I mean, I just connect my MCP server and then I just ask the question. So here you can see, right? Average financial fare was so and so. Then you can see the tipping behavior, right? And of course all the interesting stats. Of course, you can go and read about it. But that's about it, right? What I want to show you is like how you can use MCP server with the DuckDB. You have data set in S3, you can just connect it and then you can say, hey, DuckDB, can you query this data set in S3 and tell me so and so? You don't need to write script, you don't need to remember syntax anymore. This is really amazing. So yeah, I would say definitely try it out. If you're using Cloud Desktop, use the JSON, try it out. If you're using IntelliJ IDE, GitHub Copilot in that, right? So I use that because it's super productive. I don't have to switch screen now, right? I have everything it's like having a mentor, right, at this point on your side. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. Until then, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you in the next video.